What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Wizland with Wiz. Happy to be with you guys today. So, right now, I'm currently just finishing getting my first cut of the year. It is January 3rd of this year of 2023, and I'm happy to be with you guys today. I mean, you are now in 2023, so there's no reason you shouldn't be going after your goals for this year. But to be honest, if you're new to the channel, the main thing here that you should be focusing on is trying to get better. And for myself, all the content that I share here is about things that I'm going through, things that I'm trying to get better at, or things that I've been through. To be honest with you guys, it is important for us to continue to kind of be aware of where we are in life. And if you're someone that's trying to become better, welcome to the channel. So today's episode, today's video will be about if you know you have some type of talent, but for whatever reason you think that talent alone will get you to that next level. To be honest with you guys, for me, I kind of have shared that story before, a little bit, not in depth like I'm about to go in right now about it. But it's very important for you to understand that whatever you're doing right now, whatever thing that you're trying to become better at, or whatever thing that you do, for the most part, and you're not really committed to it, you're not going to be able to get to that next level. So let me tell you my story about me trying to become a pro athlete or a professional soccer player here in the States, or a footballer. For me, I've always been interested in playing sports since I was very young. When I was young, my parents, I had a dad for about 5 years. After that, some things happened with him, and then I never really saw him again, or never really spent real time with him. So basically, when I was young, I always wanted to be in a sports team. That was something that I wanted to be a part of, but was never able to do it. First of all, because I had asthma. So when I had asthma when I was young, it kind of did not allow me to be put into a sports team, or whatever the case is. So I really didn't start playing sports until I was like maybe 13, 14, 15 years old. But my first experience being in a sports team was in 8th grade. That's in middle school. If you're in the States, that's middle school. And to be honest with you guys, that kind of was a great experience for me, because I was just happy that I was in a sports team, that I was finally allowed to play. But up to that point, the reason that I really wasn't in any sports teams, or allowed to be in any sports teams, was because of my asthma. My asthma will always be very strange. Like, I would have strange episodes of asthma attacks randomly. But to be honest, now that I'm older, I know why that happened. I mean, we didn't live in a good environment. We lived in a rat and roach infested house or apartment, and to be honest with you, that kind of triggers asthma in kids. Just the environment on its own. So that's where I came from. That's how we was raised. So regardless to say, so at 13, I was able to play soccer for a year. Then my freshman year in college, I ended up joining a high school down here in Houston that is predominantly African American. And in that school, I joined the football team. So to be honest with you guys, just to give you some context, I was a very skinny kid, very weak kid. I had no type of muscle to me, and I was trying to play football. So I ended up being like, it was so funny to me though. Like, within that year, I learned a lot, and I always liked football. So I've always been an at that point, Oakland Raiders fan. So I wanted to play football. I ended up trying out for the receiver part, and then they ended up moving me to defensive back. So I ended up being switched over to free safety. To be honest with you guys, that year alone helped me so much with my ability, as far as developing my speed, developing my mindset that I kind of could do anything that I wanted if I really put my mind to it. And more so, another thing is that since I was my first language is Spanish, at that moment in time, I wouldn't even understand the I wouldn't even understand the plays that were being actually shared by the coaching staff. So it's just like it was a whole complicated aspect of my life in that phase, you know. So, but regardless to say, the main reason I wanted to share this story, and I'm not done with the story, but the main reason I want to share this story is because you have to understand that talent alone will never, ever be enough. So having said that, I'm a ninth grader. I ended up meeting, like in my same class, freshman class, there was this guy, Charles Sims. He ended up being a pro athlete, and he ended up making the league. He ended up playing, I believe, for the Bucks. He went to U of H. He went to West Virginia, and then he ended up going to the league. And that guy was really good in ninth grade. But to be honest with you, I was always afraid in football. So the thing is that, okay, so I did football, American football for a year. Then I transferred schools because I wasn't being good in this school. And I was transferred over to a charter school. And this is where everything really changed for me, in the sense where that hard work that I was pushing myself to do the year before really started paying off in a different sport, and that was soccer. So the thing is that here in America, it's pretty evident that the system for soccer is not. It's like there's stages to it, and there's a lot of opportunity when you're a high school student that if you're not aware of, you're just gonna lose your opportunity. But the thing is, that's where I was, and I always believed that my talent alone was going to be able to like put me in the radar of scouts for soccer, which is not how things work unless you're going to a school that is knowingly known for soccer players to actually create develop players and put them into a college system, or if you go to an academy or whatever the case is. But the thing is that my naive mind was, I always believed that I was good enough for a scout to come out, scout me, and eventually tell me, hey son, here, we want to offer you a scholarship. But to be honest with you, I was very naive to that. And this is where talent alone will never take you far if you're not aware of the amount of work you have to do in order to put yourself in a position that you even will be given an opportunity to show what you can offer. Like for me, my first game, I will never forget it. My first game in a high school setup, as a high school student, I made varsity. I was part of the varsity team as a sophomore, and I ended up scoring 3 goals, a hat trick, and we won that game 5-3. The thing is that I knew I had talent. I knew that the amount of work that I had put the year before would help me, because to be honest with you guys, being part of the football team developed my speed and strength, and that's something that a lot of players with soccer don't have. They don't have strength. They might have skill. Some of them had the skill, and I had skill too. That was like because I had always played, not on an actual team, but I always played soccer since I was the age of 10. And the thing is that I had developed skills that finally, when I was a freshman, I was able to kind of mix with the physical attributes that a soccer player needs. So whatever the case is, the reason I wanted to share this video is because talent alone will never be enough. If you don't allow yourself to develop whatever you think you have right now, whatever talent you think you have, if you don't commit yourself 24/7 to that particular I don't want to say job, but that particular thing that you're trying to become the best at, then your talent alone will not take you far. You might be the fastest, you might be the player that scores the most goals, but if you're not committed inside and outside the pitch, you will never make it. And that's the thing about life. And that was one of the biggest lessons I learned about life. That it doesn't matter how much talent you have, but someone that always works harder than you, always and has the talent, will always beat you. And that can be in the amount of effort that is put into a business. That can be in the amount of effort you're putting into your life, into your job. If someone is more passionate about it and they're actually putting in the extra work inside and outside, or putting the extra hours at work, they're gonna always beat you. They're always gonna beat you, and not beat you in a sense that it's gonna be so much apparent immediately. But when those opportunities come up, they're gonna be the first one to be thought about. And they're going to be the ones putting themselves in a position to be able to execute on those opportunities. So that's my main message for you today, guys. I mean, the reason I did not end up playing college ball is because, for one, my grades weren't there. I was never prepared to really think. Like, I was never more than a C student. I had a couple A's, but that really didn't matter because my GPA throughout my high school career was trash. Because I never really care about high school. I care about playing the sport. But the thing again is, like, I wasn't committed 100% to the sport. I only loved the idea of becoming a pro athlete. And I never really understood the amount of work that it really took to become a pro athlete. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you say you want something, you have to really understand what you're trying to sign yourself up to do. Because if you don't, then you're just wasting your time, to be honest with you. And for me, I'm a guy that at this point in life where I'm committing myself and my entire life to becoming the best artist that I can become. And in the process of me becoming that, I want to share the journey, and I want to create the biggest media company here in Houston. And I want to create something like Hollywood created in California. So that's my goal. That's my all-time goal, and I'm working my ass off to make sure that I develop myself, so I can actually take advantage of that opportunity when it shows up in my life. So, regardless to say, guys, I hope that this video actually makes you understand that regardless of what stage of life you're in, or regardless of what you're doing in your life, to really focus on understanding every single aspect of life, because of life and of what you're doing. Because if you think that talent alone is gonna take you to that next level, it's not a real thing. There's a reason LeBron James is LeBron James. The dude is 38 years old. He literally had a badass dunk a day ago, I believe, and it's impressive. I've never been a LeBron fan, but it's impressive to see a 38-year-old guy to really like understanding what he needs to do outside of the basketball court to take care of his body, to not be like doing shit that will mess him up, and to kind of prolong his own effectiveness in the game. And it's pretty amazing to see that. It's the same thing with Tom Brady. You know, it's like these people have shown you and has shown us that talent alone can only take you so far. If you don't have the talent, and if you have the talent but not the work ethic, then you're gonna see a lot of first round busts, just like Jamarcus Russell, like just like different people. You know, like they don't want to work, they don't want to develop, and it is what it is. You know. So yeah, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope your year started the best way it could be, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.